My brothers give me some grief about this from time to time, saying it grows as it's told and retold. They say, let's see, there was a storm and an earthquake too, right? And a tsunami. But be that as it may, this a fairly simple incident, but back in days when I would think I was about 12, we lived in Linden, Utah, had a very small farm and some sheep. And Dad was away on a business trip in Chicago. And it was springtime, early spring, but we had one of those blizzards that sometimes happen in Utah in the springtime. I don't know why it is. Sheep always choose those moments to give birth to their lambs. My grandfather, Swenson, came and got me out of school and ran me back. He took some time off from his job to get me back home and showed me how to rub the lambs down with a gunny sack, dry them off, get the blood flowing, and take care of them in the midst of a storm and get them into some shelter. Mm-hmm. And then he had to take off back to his work, but it was several hours of work of that kind, and it wasn't a large flock. I mean, we had maybe 13 lambs, but saved them all, and I was proud of that.
Mm-hmm. And you were young. It had to have seemed like a really big deal at 12.
It did seem like a big deal. And I would, looking back, maybe it's not such a big deal, but to someone at the time in the circumstances it was. And Dad called back from Chicago later that night. I had already gone to bed and said, how'd it go? How many did we lose? And my mother got me up to tell him that very proudly we hadn't lost any. I think I learned from that experience, number one, sometimes you just have to do hard things. There's no other option. But also, I think, and this has a broader application, I believe that one's self-esteem, one's feeling about himself or herself and confidence comes from achievements, from doing some hard things, from accomplishing something, especially when it's against some odds or in the face of a challenge. To me, that's more the source of self-esteem than just saying, you're wonderful, you're wonderful, you're wonderful.